Everyone keeps talking about how much you can get paid when you work in the blockchain space. So if you've been curious about what type of jobs you can get in the blockchain and crypto space, in this video, we are going to walk through some of the crypto and blockchain job listings so we can get a rough overview about what kind of jobs are out there right at this moment. We'll take a look at some tech and also some non-tech jobs. What are the requirements in order to get that job? I will also give you my opinion about the job requirements because a lot of the times we see job requirements and we get really intimidated. But the reality is you can still get the role even if you don't have half of the requirements on there. And I as well participated in hiring for other data engineers, software engineers, and even the head of engineering because I used to work as a data engineer in a blockchain startup. So I can definitely give you my opinion about what I think about the role, the job listing, and how likely it is for you to get that job. You might be thinking that you have zero blockchain experience, so therefore you might shy away from looking at these jobs. But the reality is a lot of the people who start working in the blockchain space start without any blockchain experience. Majority of the times you just need to have a passion for the technology. Back in 2018, I was able to land myself a blockchain job without having any work experience in the blockchain space. All I had was 2 years work experience as a data engineer existing. So you can definitely get started even without the experience once you have the passion. So let's have a look. The first website we're going to look at is cryptocurrencyjobs.co. When I search cryptocurrency jobs, that's usually the first one that comes up in the Google search. So the first role I'm seeing here is remote, it's in marketing, and it's the head of community engagement. Building community and community engagement is one of the most popular blockchain jobs I see, especially when it comes to non-tech blockchain jobs. And that's because when you have a blockchain project, first and foremost, there's a lot of competition. And secondly, more people who use your application, use your project, the more popular it is and the more likely for its success. And because the space is still quite nascent and not many people understand how it works, there are a lot of communities forming to encourage education to help people navigate the space. So they're looking for an experienced communication strategist with a passion for Web3 culture, blockchain, and the Ethereum ecosystem. So first and foremost, they want you to have experience within communications. So it's not just about, oh, do you understand blockchain? It's more like, are you really good at your job as a communication specialist? If so, and you're also passionate about blockchain, why not consider working for us? They want you to understand that blockchain technology is more than just the actual technology that it is, but they're also a part of a larger social movement for greater individual freedom. So, they want you to understand the ethos of the ecosystem. Have a passion for discussing and engaging in all things in the space, consuming new trends. You see this part here? I think this goes without saying for any job. The deeper you get in, the more you realize there's so much happening and the more you'd want to keep digging. And when I worked within that blockchain company, there were a few co-workers I had that were super passionate and they definitely did help drive the enthusiasm within this space. I really appreciate having people like that. If I were to hire, I would ask for the exact same thing. And they're also saying loves to hang out at crypto events for fun. Again, I would apply for this role because I feel like based on all of this is me. Like I love attending networking events in general, but crypto events especially, just because the space is still so new. It's really fun to talk about people's experiences. So what are we looking for? So they're looking for a deep knowledge and interest in all things blockchain. So they said deep knowledge, which is interesting. I haven't seen someone say deep knowledge before. How can you get this deep knowledge? I think by listening to crypto YouTubers, following the news as well. I think following the news is probably one of the best ways to expand your crypto knowledge. So let's say you go to a site like Crypto Panic, which probably no, that might be too much for a newbie, but let's say Decrypt, I think is a really good resource for checking out the news. If you look at the crypto news, especially the ones that are not around pricing and more talks about the technology, I find that you can learn so much and you can upskill a lot in this space. Because for me, even though I'm a developer, I didn't really know much about like the finance side. And by looking at the news, I learned a lot more. Of course, when you read the news, you have to make sure that you look at what they're saying and look at their sources and make sure it's accurate because, people be clickbaiting. So that is the head of community. What else? This is really good. We advocate, when I say we, people who are crypto content creators who talk about how to get a job in this space, we always say, hey, go work for a DAO because you can just get started really easily by seeing some gap, something missing. Maybe they need someone to handle the communications, for example, or they need someone to handle some development of a website. Work for a DAO, contribute, and then that way you learn a lot, but also that can be your experience. Oh my God, this is actually so cool because the problem when you just graduate, the problem is that you can't actually get a job. You need experience to get the job, and to get experience, you need a job. But if you can just find a DAO and find a gap and do some work, and the DAO is like, hey, that's actually really great. Thank you. Can you do more of it? That is you getting work experience. And here we can see there's an actual job posting that is actually saying, like, hey, for your track record to prove that you have some work experience, can you please show us that you worked for a DAO? Tell me if this is not a life hack. Anyway, they want demonstrated success in managing and moderating Web3 communities. Okay, this is a head of community engagement role. So as a result, they're asking for some proven experience within this space. For this part here, if you want to demonstrate success managing Web3 communities, I would say reach out to your favorite content creator, ask them if they need help with managing a Web3 community, and do it that way. Intern your time, or maybe see if you can work out some sort of deal, because there are a lot of people who want to build communities but don't have the time. So you can also get this really easily, by the way. They want you to be familiar with Discord, Twitter, Medium, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I think most people are familiar with these except for Discord. Discord is a very crazy place, but you should check it out. And you can excel in a remote-only work environment. Pause for the claps. I know a lot of people would love the idea of having a remote job. Here's an example. All right, so why work for us? A competitive salary, 3 company off-site, so even though you're remote, you get to meet your colleagues, unlimited vacation policy. I've never had unlimited vacation, so I don't know how that works exactly, but unlimited location and work time flexibility. Ooh, can we get an amen? I don't know how realistic this work time flexibility would be as a head of community engagement, though, because there might be some people you need to speak to because you're in communications. They may be up at a particular time. So let's see. All right, let's keep it moving. So that's one non-tech role. Let's move to a tech role. Blockchain data engineer. This is 100% off my alley. Let's check this out. Okay, so never mind another company that I have not heard of before. Building Ethereum and building on Ethereum. They're a team of world class. Okay, I will leave that for later. As a data engineer, you can work anywhere. You can work for an oil and gas company. You can work for a blockchain company. You can work for a government. Like, it really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you're going to be building pipelines, okay? Of course, like understanding the space and how it works will help a lot. Like if you work in medicine, for example, understanding the data sets. In this case, you're going to be maintaining the data infrastructure for DeFi projects that Nethermind is involved in. This sounds interesting. You'll write and maintain ETLs. Of course, in order to get this job, you need to have experience as a data engineer. So they want you to build bespoke data infrastructure, ingest data from blockchains, build database schema. And the experience that they would like you to have is experience or strong interest. So you see that you can have experience or you can have really strong interest. You can be like, look, I watch this girl called Lucy Tech on YouTube all the time, and she's convinced me about blockchain. I keep up with the news. I've participated in some DAOs, or I've joined a DAO when I'm just looking at the community. I engage in chats. I love blockchain technology. Let me work for you. They would like you to have experience in greenfield data engineering projects, especially in data infrastructure. In other words, I think they're saying you might need to build infrastructure from scratch. They probably do have some Python jobs or something running, but they want you to be able to really take that and own the platform and create a data infrastructure project. I find that this is really common for data engineering roles across the board, blockchain or not. Like a lot of companies need you to start from the ground up, or they have something that works, but it's barely working, it's just barely keeping together. So proven success in communication, hands-on design experience. Everything else is about blockchain. Knowledge of data pipeline tools like Redshift, BigQuery, I've used this, AWS Lambda, S3, Airflow. All of these are pretty standard. Like if you look at majority of blockchain rules, they will ask for this. And if you want this kind of experience, for example, AWS has a certification to be a big data engineer, so you can get experience there. You can also work, oh my gosh, you know what you can do? You can try to reach out to DAOs that do data analytics. And one example is Flipside Crypto. That is a really amazing DAO that does data analytics. You can reach out to them and see if you can contribute your time. Again, remember, you're looking for experience, but maybe you don't even have experience as a data engineer, but you can get that experience within the blockchain space because a lot of these companies need help. So yeah, and it's fully remote, fully flexible working hours plus equity. Thank you, Nethermind. That was a good one. So there was one that's a design lead. Maybe we can look at that. Technical Bitcoin writer, senior Solidity engineer, lead data engineer, sales development representative. Let's go into sales. Director of marketing, Web3 event manager. That's interesting. Head of marketing, backend engineer. I want a Solidity one. Ooh, what's the Solidity auditor? Okay, so let's look at design lead. So this is a job for someone who's a design lead. So you're responsible for the creative with a company called Integral. You're responsible for the creative and design work related to the company's visuals. So you need to be able to do UI and UX design. Okay, standard understanding of which designs should be easily implementable in the front web. You know, I think if you're a design lead and you're within the tech space, this is very standard to require you to understand how to implement these styles and whether a style is easily implementable. This is key in general because designers tend to ask developers to do a lot of things which might not be easy to do. So understanding what is possible and how some of these technologies work will be helpful. This has nothing to do with blockchain. So far, they have not asked anything. They have not asked about a single thing to do with blockchain. The only thing they said here, experience with the following or a plus at the very end. Trading platforms and financial products, DeFi products, and design styles. Here's what you could do to get work experience for this. You can look at some of the most popular decentralized exchanges or DeFi products and create a design for it, a mock-up. And I just present that as part of your CV, as part of your application, because you're like, this is how Uniswap works. This is how I think Uniswap will be better. Obviously, give a thesis explaining why you think so. And I think that could be really strong as, experience is a plus. Of course, you haven't implemented it, so it's a bit different. But maybe do it for a few websites and show that you're definitely interested. Maybe even write a Medium article saying, this is how design in DeFi products can be improved for the everyday man. So that's a good one. Let's look at Solidity and Node.js developer. So this is a company called CPI Technologies. Again, I've never heard of it. They're apparently in Frankfurt, but they're also remote. They allow for remote working within Europe, UK, and US. I assume that means all those time zones. The job type is freelance, full-time, or internship. Interesting. Option of getting paid in digital currency. Also quite good, especially if you're a crypto native like myself. All right, so let us see. Your responsibilities is to be a part of the technical team, building CPI products. I don't know because they're CPI technologies, and working with the entire organization. You want to interact with the EVM, writing high quality, well-tested Solidity. Okay, makes sense. Comprehensive unit tests, work with the engineering team. So basically, they would like you to be an engineer, but within blockchain space, and they want you to write code. And they want you to write Solidity. So the responsibilities make sense. Requirements: 1 or more years worth of experience of writing, testing, and auditing production grade Solidity contracts. So you have deployed contracts to the mainnet. So they want to know that you have written smart contracts, you have tested them and audited them, and make sure that they're production grade. A lot of the videos that I post right now are showing you how to build smart contracts. They are not necessarily production grade smart contracts, but it's a good place to start. So once you learn how to create those smart contracts, then move on to testing them, move on to auditing them, and make sure that they can be production grade, meaning that they're ready to be deployed. And of course, you should deploy some smart contracts to the mainnet. You don't have to work for a company to do this because anyone is allowed. You only need to pay gas fees to deploy to a mainnet. You can deploy to the Polygon mainnet where it's cheap. You can deploy to the Celo mainnet, which is also even cheaper. And by doing this, you will be able to have the work experience required. If I were on a hiring board and I saw someone who had this kind of experience where they worked on projects, they took courses, they created apps, deployed to the mainnet, if they got some users as well, that'd be really strong because it shows that they would go through the entire process. Because when you're building in a company and when you're building alone, whilst it may be different because you're collaborating, there are a lot of things that will be similar as well. So I think that will be great experience. And if I was someone who was hiring, I think that would be good. They're asking for 3 to 5 years of programming experience. This is my experience as an individual, as someone looking for an engineering role. I have seen a lot of jobs that ask for 1 to 2 years and 3 to 5 years experience. I've applied to all of them because if I think the job is something that I can do or I would like to do, I would like to learn, I will still apply because sometimes they may be willing to have someone who's a bit junior and upskill them. You never to know. So I would still apply to this even if I just have 1 year experience. When I got my first role as a data engineer, I had 0 years experience as a data engineer. Before that, I had some web dev experience, but again, it wasn't grand. So I would still apply to this role even if you have 1 year experience. Working on personal projects is key because you cannot wait around for an employer. Donating your time to a company is also key. So yeah, this is just general advice for someone who's looking for an engineering job, especially if you have recently graduated. Understanding the Ethereum virtual machine, gas optimization trade-offs, and security best practices. Of course, you will learn this if you study the space. and experience with lending protocol, DEXs, MEV, and more. Of course, you can get this experience as well. I do have a video showing you how you can swap tokens with 1inch. And someone actually someone actually messaged me on Discord letting me know that my video, which spoke about how to use 1inch to trade using code, got them a job. Can you believe that? I actually need to message them soon because we're meant to have an interview. But that is amazing to me. Okay, I need to wrap up soon because I actually need to check out. So let's just look at this last one because I've never seen a Web3 event manager role, but I'm guessing you just need to have event management skills. You need to demonstrate working experience with relevant blockchain technologies and communities. We need to know that you've done this before. We are trying to throw some events. We need to make sure that they're amazing. So we kind of mess about with someone who doesn't understand blockchain and how the blockchain community thinks. So this is interesting, and of course you can get this by donating your time as well. You're able to clearly articulate how Ethereum works at a high level. Okay, at a high level, that's fine, right? And understand major protocols and projects within the ecosystem. You can watch some videos on YouTube and this will help you to understand this. You have substantial experience organizing and attending events. Attending events is very easy, very easy. So I think you guys get the drift. If you see a job, it has a title like hiring manager, HR manager, blockchain engineer, head of marketing. They would like you to have experience doing that thing, whether it's engineering, marketing, etc. And they would also like you to either have proven experience within the blockchain space or just a passion for blockchain technology. You can get the passion by doing research, looking at crypto news, listening to blockchain and crypto YouTubers like myself, and you can get the work experience by contributing your time to DAOs. So in another video, I will show you guys a bunch of DAOs that you can contribute to and maybe give you some ideas as to how you can contribute. So what I can do is I can probably show you a job and show you relevant DAOs that you can contribute to, that you can use that as work experience as a proven track record to get that job. So some other websites that you can look at for crypto jobs are Crypto Job List. Again, this is just from a quick Google search, crypto jobs, Pump crypto jobs. Pump, I know, is a very popular crypto YouTuber. Paradigm as well. I really like Paradigm for looking for jobs because they have jobs at a lot of the companies you'd recognize, BlockFi, Chainalysis, Uniswap as well. You can even go to the websites of particular blockchain platform. Let's say you go to Celo.org and you look for, let's say, Control F jobs, careers. And you just look at open roles. So they have within C Labs, Celo Foundation, Valora, which is one of their wallets, I believe. So partner engineering lead, senior distributed engineer, smart contracts engineer, product marketing manager. So let's just look at these two roles really quickly. Product marketing manager. 5 years experience in product marketing makes sense. 2 years experience building a team makes sense. Where is understanding of crypto technologies and a competitive landscape? So again, they want you to have the experience as the thing, as a product marketing manager, and then you just need to have an understanding of the blockchain and crypto space. Okay. So that's a good one. Another job, smart contracts engineer, also remote, by the way. 4 years experience in software engineering using JavaScript and TypeScript. They didn't even ask for Solidity. And you just need to have 1 to 2 years of Solidity programming using development frameworks like Truffle and Hardhat. Someone asked me on Instagram, do you think you can get a job within 6 months of learning about blockchain and crypto? Yes, you can. You can get a job with even 6 months of experience because some jobs don't even require you to have that much experience. Because you remember my rule, I rather apply and they tell me no than I tell myself no. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you find any of the jobs interesting, then leave a comment and ask me any more questions you might have about applying for these roles. Of course, I didn't create the job posting, but I can definitely give you a few pointers in the comments. So looking forward to seeing you. And I know a few people who have gotten blockchain jobs, and some people have messaged me letting me know that I have inspired them to work in the blockchain space, which is super exciting for me. So please comment down below and let me know if you've been inspired, if you currently work in the blockchain space, or what's been keeping you back from applying.